So where was I? I mean, God, I was just in the middle of talking about sports, and they said, no, you can't do that over here anymore. So I said, fine. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go over here and do that. Welcome to, oh no, I got to figure out how to point. The Plus. Damon Bruce Plus, pronounced Plus. And it is wonderful to have you here. I could not do this without an unbelievably loyal audience. Thank you so very much. I tell you, you and me, our relationship kind of got screwed. This is a long-term relationship that I have had with my audience, and they tried to take that away from me. I will not let them. I'm going to take it back. It is great to be with you. This is the longest I have been off the air since El Stroco Loco back in 2017 when I was off the air for like a month and a half. That was that sucked. This has also sucked. At no point during the stroke did I lose half of our family's income. Just lost half of my mobility, but we got that back, and we're going to get the income and more than that back here. Thanks to you. Thanks to your loyalty. Thanks to everyone who has helped me get back up on the air in no time. Dude, we got back before Andrew Wiggins. That's how much game your boy has. He's back before Andrew Wiggins, for goodness sakes. But apparently that is also about to change. Andrew Wiggins is going to get back soon, which is fantastic. So we got a few bells. We got a few whistles. We're going to be trying them all today. This is going to be a big trial and error period along the way. It is good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope everything is sounding right and good and proper. My wife says that she'll run downstairs if something goes wrong early to save the situation. And Jillian, honey, before I get going, I love you. Thank you for all your help. I would not... First of all, look at the feng shui she's got going on behind me. If you think I did any of that, you're out of your mind. That's all... an incredible woman behind a very average man. Thank you so much for joining us. And let's just hop right into it because we have things to get to. Oh, we got a ticker. We got a ticker. That's right. We do have a ticker. It is good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me today. And let's just get right into it because what we had on Sunday is a little something I like to call the triangle of defeat here in the Bay Area, and we are always going to be serving the Bay Area first and then working national because we're global now, damn it. That's the way this goes. We're on the internet. That thing goes a lot further than any signal I've ever been on a radio station. So we're going to start locally. We're going to work nationally, and believe it or not, the biggest national story today is women's college hoops, and we're going to get to all of that in just a minute. They had a hell of a weekend, certainly a better weekend than Bay Area sports had. It was a rough one. You had the Giants losing, the A's losing, and then the Warriors last night. They just were not good enough. Going 9 for 42 from three. Don't read the graphics to the audience, Damon. That's a bad way to start out. But I will tell you that Curry missed 20 of his 28 shots, and they lose to a Denver team that I don't even know how much Denver wanted to win that game, honestly. Aren't they better served with making sure that the Warriors don't face them in the first round because they end up with an 8 seed? The Warriors are on the verge. I'm talking the verge of slipping back into that play-in tournament. And for a team that is officially all out of any margin of error, they're still making an awful lot of errors. This team, selective defense would be the only way to describe it. And offensively, it's the wrong time of the year for them to be struggling. And they are struggling right now. They're struggling to the point where they've got 3 games to get their shit together, or whatever play-in or playoff appearance they make will be brief. Now, Andrew Wiggins returning, I mean, that's a big difference maker. There's no doubt that that's a big difference maker. But they got to make the difference soon. Oh, lower third graphic change. Check out that ticker. Everything you need to know about the upcoming schedule, it's right there. And the Warriors are on the verge of backing out. You got Anthony Davis dropping 40 for the Lakers, who all of a sudden look like they've got some juice about them. It wouldn't be surprising to see them take the 6th seed from the Warriors, and the Warriors fade by dropping a game in Sacramento, a game in Portland. Don't tell me it couldn't happen. Like, if the Warriors are on the road, they have the potential to be the worst team in the NBA. If the Warriors are at home, they have potential to play like one of the best teams in the NBA. By the way, look at the radio expertise in we're still using drinks with lids on them around the equipment, especially now the equipment's mine. You know what I mean? So, look, the Warriors, their margin of what they might do runs all the way from falling flat on their face and losing 2 in a row in the play-in, and that's that, to maybe even appearing in the NBA Finals. That's how much house credit you have to give Steph, Clay, and Dre. They've earned that. But man, this team has more than earned the criticisms that they've been facing all year. It's been the same criticisms that they faced all year. And I'm going to tell you, as we look to what could possibly be, I think the best way to put it would be the beginning of the end of the Warriors dynasty, if that's where they really are right now. This is a team that is either not picking up what their coach is putting down, because I think Steve Kerr coaches the right way, the right game plan, but are they listening to him? Is Kerr kind of tuned out? This is a team that in a gots-to-have-it home game against San Antonio, just la-di-dot it for 3.5 quarters and then was like, all right, well, I guess we got to win a game, and they were actually able to do that, which is great. I don't know if they can just summon that whenever they want to. I really do not think that they can just, whenever they want to get into it, just start destroying the NBA. The trajectory of their age means they're slower than most. The fact that the NBA plays exactly like the Golden State, every team now plays like the Golden State Warriors. They have no tactical advantage. They have no athletic advantage. Time catches up with everyone. So, especially radio. Time catches up with everyone. And it's catching up with the Golden State Warriors. If they can hold off Father Time this postseason, it will be the single most unexpected, I think, development we've seen the Warriors have in a long time. By the way, shout out to the Timberwolves. I don't know if you saw this. They blow a 19.5 point spread. They were getting 19.5, and they blew that in a loss at home to Portland. It's the worst against the spread loss since 1995, which is the first time they actually tracked those things. The loss drops them to 9 seed in the West. And look, the Warriors are a loss away from dropping out too. 3 games, nothing but out-of-town scoreboard watching. It's going to be an awful lot of fun. One of the things we're going to do, and I see that there are a lot of people weighing in on the chat, we're going to get to you. I want to do about a half an hour here of sports, and then we're going to spend the second half hour. Maybe we do an hour a day. Maybe we go ahead and decide your time's too valuable to spend just a full hour every single day. So we're going to get this bad boy streamlined to the fastest half hour in sports, everything you need. And for those who are asking for this to turn into like a podcast, all of that is going to happen. For those of you who have been asking more solo Damon Bruce than we've had in the last few years, that is going to happen. Look, the fact that I had Ray alongside me prevented me from talking directly with you. And even though we don't, take calls here, not yet anyways, maybe that capability will show up eventually. I really want to get into the chats because you guys have just been awesome. Absolutely awesome in the past couple of weeks. And we start today, show number 1 here, The Plus on YouTube, the debut tube, if you will. Show number 1 begins with 3,400 subscribers. That's loyalty. That's audience migration. Whoever followed me from KNBR to 95.7 The Game, now if you're following me to here, I'm telling you, I wish I could come over and paint your house for you. You mean so much to me. It means an awful lot to have you here. It was supposed to mean an awful lot to open up at Yankee Stadium, right? I mean, the San Francisco Giants, for the first time since like the 50s, are opening up their season in New York. Okay, so, there is no National or American League anymore, apparently. That kind of sucks, but that's the way baseball wanted it, so they opened at Yankee Stadium. And they got a little bit embarrassed at Yankee Stadium, striking out 41 times over 3 games. That's not great. I mean, I think we all know that that's not great. They're shut out twice. They're hitting 194 after 3 games. That's officially a small sample size that we won't get too upset about. But right now, they're only better than the A's, the Tigers, and the Royals as a team hitting the ball. So today, And not too long from now, we got the Giants in Chicago on the south side taking on the White Sox. The A's have the Guardians coming into town tonight. The A's, they just had that was a rough one. I mean, they're averaging a run a game so far. They just get shut out 6-0 to the Angels. Both teams lose 6-0 on Sunday. So nice symmetry, everyone. Congratulations. 3 runs over 3 games. Cleveland Indians in town, or excuse me, not the Indians anymore. Guardians coming into town. And the Guardians come out of the gate hot. They're 3-1 already on the year. So it's going to be a handful for Oakland tonight. It was good, though, to see some real crowd showing up. John Fisher is essentially sports owner Satan, and he doesn't deserve your money, but that team certainly needs your support. So I'm caught in between. Don't give that guy $1 and go out and support your team. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that the A's are still owned by this guy, that this guy's allowed in an ownership group. I saw that there is, I think Bob Nightingale put out a tweet a couple weeks ago that the A's were like the 2nd or 3rd most profitable team in all of baseball last year because they don't put any money back on the field. It's just, that's sickening. It's sickening. You know, with a lot of time off of the last few weeks, I got to watch the movie Spotlight, rewatch the movie Spotlight. And what I love about that movie is they say, you don't just go after the criminals here, you got to go after the system. The system that baseball owners have agreed on is disgusting. It's disgusting. The more money you spend, the more you're trying to win, the more you're going to be penalized around baseball. That's disgusting. But it's the system. It's where we are. It stinks. All that aside, I'll tell you, Major League Baseball dropped a little something on us. And again, it might be a schmo shampoo size, and it certainly was a schmo shampoo size. But there is only one small sample size that really, I think, has any gravity to it so far this season in baseball, and that's the pace of play. Now, I'm a traditionalist through and through. I don't want anything changing. You know, the ivy on the outfield wall at Wrigley Field, to me, should be an MVP every year. I don't want things changing in baseball. I don't like the fact that the National League has gotten rid of the designated hitter. I don't like the ghost runner, although it does bring me to turn on that game fast when that does happen. What I love, I'm talking about love, is this pitch clock. I didn't think I was going to like it. I thought, you got to let a guy work at his own pace. You're taking the natural way a pitcher goes about his business, and you're tinkering with that. I don't like the over-tinkering, which is why the Giants have been driving me nuts lately, and probably you too. But you can't argue with this pitch clock. The pace of play is undeniable. It's undeniable. It is a more entertaining, more suck-you-in baseball presentation than we've had in a really long time. And let's be totally honest, some guy futzing around and taking a little walk around the pitcher's mound, or a batter taking forever to get into the box, Nomar Garcia-Parra doing I got to take my gloves on and off 15 times. Enough of that bullshit. People have too much to do. Get to it, throw the pitch, get in the batter's box, let's play baseball. I love the new pace of play in Major League Baseball, and I really didn't think I was. Again, a traditionalist. But it took me one weekend to be like, yeah, all right, let's go. Let's play baseball. So I really, really like what I've seen from Major League Baseball. I think they're onto something so far. It's been so long since I've gone ahead and talked to you guys about what the hell's going on in sports here. We need to do a little 49ers today because we got a curious case of Trey Lance officially underway. There's no doubt about it. There's a curious case of Trey Lance all around this team. The conversation around him is absolutely changing formally in public. You can feel John Lynch sort of setting everyone up for a possible trade that could happen, either before, during, after the draft. It could happen. I could also say it maybe shouldn't happen. How in love does Kyle Shanahan fall with Sam Darnold? I think that question needs to be answered. Does he actually see this guy as someone who might ascend above Brock Purdy if Purdy is QB1? What does he really think of Darnold? If he thinks Darnold is the kind of guy who could run his offense, that's not going to help Trey Lance's tenure with the 49ers at all. The addition of Javon Hargrave, again, old news to you. I didn't get to talk about it. It took me off the air, so I got to talk. That's a monster signing. That's a monster signing. You got Bosa, Hargrave, and Armstead. Austin Bryant's been added. John Feliciano for line depth. God, he could actually get a starting job on this line. I like that an awful lot. Team still needs a right guard or a right tackle. We know that. Miles Hartsfeld played for Steve Wilkes in Carolina. I think that's a nice addition too. The 49ers absolutely have a win now roster with a you hope to win now, probably more likely to win tomorrow quarterback. And here we are, Finnegan begin again. I mean, the cycle never ends. The team's really good. Quarterback's got a question mark about him. Now, whether that quarterback's name was Jimmy or Trey or Brock or Sam or whatever, it's the same situation over and over and over again. I know they can't afford a guy like Lamar Jackson, but imagine if they just were like, fuck it, go get Lamar Jackson. Yeah, I'm using F words. It is really, really fun to use an F word as a broadcaster. It's been 18 years. That's a full no-no. Now we roll, baby. Let's see. We're going to take that down. That ticker goes away. We're going to come on back and welcome you once again to the Plus. It is good to have you here. I'm just figuring all of this out. As you can see, this is all sort of new to me. And there's no producer. I don't have Lucas. I don't have Grandy here. By the way, I love those guys. Wish them the very, very best. Let's go ahead and chat. I'm going to click chat for the first time today. I haven't seen anything anyone has sent. Look at you. Look at you guys. Everyone's, thank you. I am the Bay, says Damon. Hold on. Here we go. Can I do it? Because we did have officially, wait a minute. I might have to put this on. Is it chat overlay? Do I have to take the ticker off for this to work? Probably something I should have figured out before we did this, but it's live and in real time, so we'll get rid of that. Am I shrinking? Is that what the chat overlay does? That brings you guys up. Hide messages from the stream. I don't even know what that means. Here, I'm going to take that down. I think I screwed that up. There's a lot of love coming in. And I shouldn't push buttons that I don't really have much familiarity with, that's for sure, but I just did. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're going to have to get back into, I guess, all of these lovely messages that you guys are sending, you gals are sending. Really, really good. 18 years, never being allowed an F-bomb sounds like an eternity. It's felt like an eternity. It really has at times. Thank you very much to everyone. And we are just underway. I'm going to tell you right now that we are going to, there you go. Oh, it's starting to work now. Yes. Yes. Victory.
It is going to take some time for Bane to reestablish himself here in the Gotham that is San Francisco. But it will happen, and when it does, you have my permission to die.
Oh, yeah. Hit that like button, everyone. Thank you very much. Hit that like button. Somebody says right here, let me see. Man, I gotta figure this out, how to get this chat and stuff up. It's saying hide messages from the stream. No, I don't want that. It's moving slowly, everyone. All right, I got to figure this chat stuff out at another time, obviously. Let me just go ahead and let you know that the men's national title game is tonight. Oh, I got to get that right. Indiana's nowhere near it. And unfortunately, the one Indiana representative, Dusty May, gets knocked out by a buzzer beater. San Diego State, our friend Kirk Morrison must be going nuts. He must have loved that. Incredible basketball game. FAU really let go of the rope. It's too bad. San Diego State, congratulations. They're going to take on UConn tonight. I'm going to be joining Larry Krueger, by the way, on his channel around 5 o'clock. And we're going to bring you right up to the title game. Because Larry and I can sit around and talk for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. But we're only going to talk for about an hour because we're going to both want to watch this title game. Women's college hoops. Biggest story in the nation right now. I don't know if we've ever said that before. Caitlin Clark, probably more identifiable than any men's player from the tournament. She had herself a Steph Curry tournament. The nation now knows who she is, but LSU walks away with a championship. I got to be honest with you. I watched more women's college basketball this weekend than in all weekends of my life added together. I didn't stick around for the entire game because LSU was just raining buckets early. You could tell that thing was pretty much over at halftime, and my kids got to watch Bluey, so that's what happened over there. It is the best college basketball rated game, regardless of gender, in 20 years on ESPN. That's a moment. That's an actual moment. Highest ratings, higher ratings than any NBA game. And the NBA is working on a new media deal. Ugh. That's something else. That's really something else. Highest rated basketball game on ESPN in 20 years. I mean, maybe the NBA a few points in times throughout the years got a better rating than that on ESPN, but it's seriously an unbelievable moment for women's college hoops. It's clear that the entire culture of women's basketball has grown to the point where it's in demand now. It's absolutely in demand. They're talking about combining the men's and women's. I think that would be a mistake. The women should have their own thing, and it's very successful for them. A lot of people, though, want to control the conversation. And when the world starts watching you, you don't get to control the conversation anymore. You don't. You don't get to say, well, this is such a good game. It's too bad you're going to be talking about the officials afterwards because it takes away from the... Hey, the nation's going to control the conversation. And as I was watching the game, everyone on Twitter was saying it's really too bad that on Monday morning, anyone who's going to be talking about this is going to be talking about who won or the players. They're going to be talking about these terrible officials. Well, that changed at the end of the game. What is her name? Angel Reese? Do we seriously have a problem with shit talking? Dude, if you got a problem with shit talking in basketball, basketball's not the sport for you. It seriously isn't. You can't remove shit talking from a basketball game any more than you can remove, gravity from skydiving. It's inherent in the culture of the sport. It's going to be there. I see a lot of people criticizing this girl for dropping the Cena, doing the ring. Really? That's pretty sensitive if people are going to be offended by that. My only observation, and I haven't heard anybody else talking about this, but my only observation is that Angel Reese, is she talking shit all game long? Because if she is, talk your shit after the game too. If she waited until after the game to start mean mugging, like, what, I'm going to get all tough once we've won, that would be lame. I didn't watch enough to see if she was, out there trying to big time anyone during the game. But my only criticism would be if she waited to the end of that game when the clock hit 000. Now you're going to go ahead and go into your routine. That's lame. But her talking shit, good for her. Good for her. Good. That's the thing. This is why women's college hoops is growing. I don't know if the dunk's going to happen, but the attitude, the getting nasty, that needs to happen, and it certainly happened. By the way, LSU's head coach, what's her name? I'm going to call her Righteous Gemstones. She is, that woman's right out of Righteous Gemstones. She's nuts. She's like the female Bobby Knight. I mean, she's nuts. I love her. She's crazy. She's like an anti-vaxxer, borderline MAGA nut job. Doesn't matter. We're talking basketball. That woman can coach. And I don't mind the sideline flare either. She looked like a human disco ball in that title game. Imagine tonight. Imagine tonight. Both coaches for UConn and San Diego State come out wearing glitter suits. I hope it happens. I really, really do. Let's see if we can go and bring up anything just to see if we can do this. Somebody says, Damon, oh, there it is. Michael Navarro, you're right. It's UConn's tournament to lose. Yeah, it is now. They've been hammering everyone that they've played. San Diego State feels like they're definitely up against it tonight. But, man, let me tell you, UConn winning a championship tonight would be their 5th. Indiana's got 5 titles. I just saw, my friend Bomani Jones talking his shit on Twitter saying Indiana's no longer a blue blood. Like 5 national titles. If UConn has that, UConn a freaking commuter school almost. It's the truth. But if UConn has 5 national titles is officially now no longer accepted into the blue blood conversation. Look, we are going to be doing an awful lot here on the Plus. We're always going to keep it sports first. But I'm interested in other things. We got Fish rolling into town coming up soon. We're going to be talking about that. I am fascinated by the culture of San Francisco, the tales of this town, the history of the city. We're going to get into all of that. But we're always going to let you know when it's coming. We're not going to have a sports show under the guise of, or we're not going to get other things that aren't sports into the sports show. We are going to separate church and state, if you will. You will know where we're going. You will know when it's going to be a show about fish or a show about how Donald Trump's getting arraigned tomorrow. We're not going to get into that here, though, because the Plus doesn't want to be polarizing. The Plus just wants to put its arms around everyone and say thank you. Thank you for being an incredibly loyal audience. Thank you for being awesome. How about this? Look at the king of all chats is here. The king of all chats, Otis Bird III. Otis, you lead your army to the Plus, please. I can't wait to have a daily conversation with you and all your boys. It's time to leave radio behind you and join us over here. It's just that simple. Otis, thank you very, very much. Someone here is also saying, and boom, there it goes, 49ers can't. Oh, Mark Adams. By the way, Mark is doing a story coming up soon for his podcast, his website, about how Roger Craig should be a Hall of Famer. And he's right about that. He should be a Hall of Famer. The guy's an evolutionary step in the process of the development of running backs in the NFL. Damon Bruce, Larry Krueger, yeah, that's going to happen again real soon. As a matter of fact, one more plug, 5 o'clock tonight, I'm going to be joining Krueger over on the Krug Show. He's going to be stepping in and joining me here. We're going to have a little home and home, back and forth. Can't wait to do that too. But Mark said, I would love to have Ray Ratto comment on Roger Craig. Would you pass along? Could I have his number? Well, Ray's a very private guy, so I asked Ray, can I go ahead and send your number along to Mark Adams? Haven't heard back. Sorry, Mark. It's not like I'm ignoring you. It's just Ray is now ignoring me. So I'm sure we're going to drag Ray reluctantly into all of this somehow. I can tell you that any worry about, that's a guest that is lined up with one station and you're on another station, which means that guest can't join you. That doesn't apply here. This is the internet, baby. There are no rules anymore. There are no, I'm tied to this brand. The bottom line is we will be having guests on that are tied to this brand, this guy, this dude. Someone's saying, Otis, must be trouble. Single tear in his eye right now. That's the guy right there. How about another OG from the days of way back right there? Shout out. Shout out indeed the IT department, which is basically saying thank you very much, Jillian. And yeah, thank you, Jillian. I do appreciate you setting this all up. I think she's done a hell of a job, not only with all the technological everything, but with, I mean, look at the staging. Come on. Looks good, man. Looks really, really good. Thank you so much for joining us today. The Postman in Capitola. I mean, we're talking about OGs coming over here. Look at this. Drew Down. Thank you. Thank you very much, Drew, for listening. It is good to see all of you. It is wonderful. When is Sporticus in here? Is Sporticus in here? I am Sporticus. I'm going to have to go back through all of this and figure it out. We're going to practice even more, and we're going to be ready to go tomorrow. We're going to have an awful lot for you. I'm going to be back on the air 11. I don't know if 11 is going to be the permanent time, but it is this week. Every single day this week, 11 o'clock is when this happens. It is wonderful to be back. It is great having you here. Thanks to everyone. You have been unbelievable. You have been inspirational. You have made me feel so much better about everything that has happened in the last few weeks, because there is no doubt in my mind that we can be incredibly successful from right here. I'm about to kick this entire city's sports media's ass from my basement. I'm not kidding. My town. And I'm keeping it. It is wonderful to have you here. Thank you so very, very much for listening. I want you to understand how much you really mean to me. It's been a weird 3 weeks. To see over 3,000 people signing up to continue listening to me in a platform that I've really never even bothered promoting myself in very much or doing anything with. Look, I saw the internet in 1997 when I was in college, and I thought to myself, nah, nothing there. Not going to get into that. There's an old proverb that says the best time to plant a tree was 100 years ago. The second best time is today. We just put down roots, baby. We are here now on the internet forever. We're never leaving this format. Maybe I dabble in radio again. Maybe terrestrial comes calling somehow, some way. Fantastic if that does happen. I'm not leaving this. This is something that my wife and I now own. I've got people here asking, how can we go ahead and jump into, how can we jump in and ring the tip jar? It's all going to happen, but we're never going to put a drop of this behind a paywall. I've become whatever the hell it is I am by just giving it away, and we're not going to stop that now. We have so much for you coming up here on the Plus, baby. Thank you for supporting us. Over 220 people, 220 in here right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You mean the world to me. You mean the world to my family. You mean the world to my kids. You really do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been an awful lot of fun. We're just underway. Can't wait to join Larry tonight, 5 o'clock on The Krug Show. Go ahead, like and subscribe to him. Go ahead, like and subscribe to this. Let me just turn all graphics captions off. I don't even know how to do it. Do I hide message from the stream? Is that what I do? Does it go away? There it goes. It just went away. How about that? It's officially time for me to go away. So that means we wrap up the show the same way we've always wrapped up every single show I've ever done. By the way, this is officially the 2,261st Damon Bruce show, the 4,123rd show I've ever hosted overall, but the very first show that officially counts as the debut show of Damon Bruce plus The Plus here on 95.7 The Game. I knew I was going to do that. I knew it. I even told my wife, I'm like, I'm just going to go into automatic mode and I'm just going to say that station. When I started at 95.7 The Game, I had to have a card in my hand like this that said, don't say KNBR. It's the only way I did that. That took a while. I will get out of that habit. In the meantime, they'd be lucky to have me again, no doubt. It is wonderful to be with you. Thank you so very much. I'll talk to you again tomorrow at 11 right here on the Plus. In the meantime, please do remember, as I've always said, sports don't build character. They reveal it. Thanks for listening and watching. Boom. Hold on. I did it. Here we go.